Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have in the top left spawning as our blue Terran player playing for Team Kaisi Gaming. It is Oliveira, the player formerly known as Time. Changed his nickname. I thought it was just a Smurf account, but actually completely changed his nickname. Does not want to be known as Time anymore, but instead Oliveira. And the only real reference I could find out was a UFC fighter from Brazil, I believe. So maybe he's a huge fan of the UFC. I'm not fully aware. The bottom right, we have Solar playing for Onsite Gaming. Always interesting when people change their names. There have been some successful name changes, some unsuccessful ones. The most successful one, I think, is going to be Special. Used to be called Major. Major was a pretty decent player, of course. And Special, and he changed name. And it was on purpose back then. You know, he changed name to really kind of turn over a page. You know, to be like, all right, I wanna get better. I wanna start performing better. I'm gonna change up my practice regimen, and the way that I'm gonna do it is by just completely changing my nickname as well, kind of showing that I've turned that page. And it worked out. I remember that year where he changed it. He got some really nice performances immediately after. I want to say he got top 4 at DreamHack Jonkoping in I think that was 2017 actually. Was the year that Niep won 3 major tournaments. He later won the one in Valencia. I think he got top 4 there. I'm pretty sure about it. So, yeah, definitely did work from pretty well in GSL as well. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see with Oliveira or Time, player formerly known as Time, of course. If he's going to, if it's similar, or if he's just a really big fan of UFC fighters. It's like, oh, that's cool. Never a huge fan of changing names though in general. It's so difficult to make a new name stick. Think of Spirit. In my mind, I still always refer to as Soul as well. Just I struggle with it personally, but you know, I try my best. Oliveira, ooh, opening up with a factory. We'll throw down the reactors. It's a fast factory. Are we gonna see a second gas here? I hope we will see a second gas. It's a little bit like I feel like Oliveira likes to play second gas, but it's not going to be the case as we don't see it yet. Instead, it's going to be a triple CC over here, closer towards the edge, so it can fly over rapidly as well. Also, it's going to be scouted a lot easier. Don't forget that. It is a double-edged sword, of course. Can cut yourself real good too. Now here we have our men Solar still mining with 1 drone in gas. With that metabolic boost already starting. You see more queens popping out soon as well. It is looking really nice overall for my main man Solar. Second refinery. Cheeky little tech lab. So I'm kind of feeling the Banshee vibe right now. I'm just feeling it, smelling it. This is one of the new maps, and it's also played on the new patch, by the way, for the people that I didn't actually mention that yet. I feel like most games right now that I'm gonna be casting on this channel will be on new patch and new maps as long as I can find those games. It is pretty difficult for me to get games at times, as I'm not allowed to get any of the EPT Cup games. Current EPT players are not allowed to actually get these games. There's a special replay pack from the Open Cups that I don't have access to, which is rather unfortunate. So whenever I get games from the ESL Open Cups, I have to individually ask players, and players are usually a little bit less likely to send me over those replays. So it's difficult, and also I don't want to pull infinite favors from my friends, just consistently asking them for replays, especially if they end up losing. So yeah, it's it's a Raven actually. Okay, we're seeing the new Raven being used. That is really cool. So Raven has gotten a bit of a buff. The build time is less. The cost is less. I think the auto turret is a little bit less strong. Maybe less HP. I can't even recall. Double Raven opener. Holy crap. Now this is something. New patch, new me is what Oliveira says. Maybe that's why he changed his name. He's like, all right, I'm going to be a Raven abuser from now on out. That is a double Raven opener. That is indeed a double. This looks really cool though. I like double Raven openers. I'm a fan of that. 8 cars, 2 Ravens, and they're ready to go. 1 auto turret wants to be placed underneath that Overlord. Do you get an Overlord with a single auto turret? I guess we're here about to find out. The answer is, well, not if there's a transfuse. Well, that's 50 energy you're never getting back. I feel like the energy of the queen is a lot less important than the energy on the raven. Ravens are so sick though. The ability that they can just see creep. You don't have to scan anymore. I always thought it would just be worth it to get a raven purely based on the fact that Terran scans every single game. Like the entire time in the early game, in the mid game, and also in the late game it is nice as well. So getting one raven I always thought would be worth it, and now we're seeing 2 ravens. That's actually really, really cool. Of course, anti-armor missile has been nerfed a little bit, so it's not quite as useful as it used to be, but still extremely good. It's practically a reverse Guardian Shield, and in my mind, Guardian Shield is one of the sickest spells in the entire game, so having an aggressive Guardian Shield is sick. Imagine playing 2 versus 2, I was just thinking about this, with Terran, where you get a Guardian Shield as a Protoss, and your mate is just throwing interference, anti-armor missiles on your opponent's army. Like, all of a sudden, you're looking at a 4 armor difference. That is so sick. I never thought of that, actually. Imagine you get 3-3 upgrade, and then you do that, and your opponent has 0-0. Then you're up by basically 7 armor upgrades, no? Yeah. That would be insane. That is actually insane. A difference of 7 armor upgrades. Wow. A man can dream. It's a very unlikely scenario, but it's a cool scenario to think about. It is actually a very cool scenario to think about. Alright. Another cool scenario to think about is why did Solar get the drone up so much? It's probably because the Ravens, they don't represent a direct threat to any drones. Makes it really easy to drone up. I think you're playing more of like a control type of game with the Ravens, where you try to control the creep in the mid game and try to deal damage like that due to your opponent having inferior vision than they usually would have, making it difficult to take good trades. I love this move as well, keeping these Hellions alive. I'm not quite sure why these Ravens aren't just split up. I mean, it seems pretty normal to me that one Raven would be with the Marine Force and one Raven with the Hellion Force. There's absolutely nothing at home is what I was gonna say, but then I would be incorrect, so I'm glad I didn't say that. 2 tanks are gonna get taken out here by these 1-1 links. Combat shield not quite done, but the Marines will survive. Fort base has finished up as well. Here come Marines pushing forward, as this fort base is in a little bit of trouble. Sorry, 5th base, it's not in a little bit of trouble, it's dead. Which technically also is a little bit of trouble. Maybe an understatement, a little bit. Aliens pushing in as Oliveira is paying attention to it. Auto turrets can be thrown down here as well. Kind of making a bit of a wall out of that with these auto turrets. What are the kill counts on these Ravens? I actually want to see. 8 and 1. So 9 kills on these Ravens total. Oliveira has been doing a good job with the trades here. It sucks that he lost 2 tanks though, because that makes any type of follow-up push with 2-2, for example, just a lot weaker than you ideally would want it to be. Planetary Fortress is on the way, and that means that this base is going to be secure in the near future. What are we really looking forward to right now in this game? I'm honestly looking forward to an incoming Hydra push, which could definitely be a thing. Like I'm okay if this were to be some type of 2-2 Lingbane Hydra push. You don't even need that many Hydras. I'm talking like 8 to 12 Hydras or so. I think is going to be a good number. Same time, here come the double Ravens into the main base, looking for some kills. They're not quite gonna get it. I think they got 1 kill extra. And the Queen surround coming in, or the Queen flank. Oh. It's not going to get these Ravens. Ravens just idling in that. I feel like this is a waste of the Raven. Every scan that you pulled down here is 225 minerals that a mule could have been mining. But instead, now you're not. So it is just a very costly business. And I'm not so sure why you would do that if you have 2 Ravens available. Like, splitting these Ravens up surely is better than leaving them in dead space and picking off half a drone every 5 minutes. Like, it's just not going to matter quite as much. I think I've seen like 5-6 scans already. There were maybe 4 or 5 scans that weren't completely necessary here. It actually upsets me a little bit. Also, if you put your Ravens over here, using F2 becomes pretty much impossible to do, because the Ravens are in the dead space, and the moment you F2 as a Terran, everything obviously gets sent to that spot where you send your F2 to. For people that don't know, F2 is all army select. Ooh, this is nice. Triple turret. Let's see if you get any damage done. 3-4 kills. It's nice, but it's 4 drones. You know, it's not really the end of the world here for Solar. I would have loved to see an anti-armor missile with this push, personally, as well. I mean, -2 armor here would have been absolutely fantastic. Mines are going to connect with a lot of these links. This is already a good fight. This fight could still go better. Oh, there goes a Sport. Takes out one of these Ravens. Second Raven also gets taken out. Yeah, I don't know. It's just... I never quite understand the Raven use of Terran players. It really feels like they can achieve so much more with it if they're just gonna try and keep it alive for a bit more. But it doesn't really seem to matter Oliveira all that much, as this 5th base is going to get taken out. Solar in a bunch of trouble right now. Getting that lurker, then we see tanks moving forward, liberators as well, sieging up to try and defend. We have a 5th CC, a 2nd factory, I think, or there's a 3rd factory maybe already. We continue fighting here, Libs putting in some work. Let's see Vipers popping out as well, and they start suckling away the energy here in this hive cluster. These two Libs trying to siege forward will get sniped by the Hydras, by the Queens, but tanks shelling away at the Banelings is definitely going to be helping out. There's no vision on this high ground, which makes a flank extremely potent for Solar, because these Banelings are going to be rolling down the ramp. Okay, I love this little bit of vision that Oliveira just gained there. There we go. It's going to allow him to kind of anticipate towards that army moving towards him. It's too late with the reinforcements though, and medevac count actually at 0 currently. So probably needs to calm down a little bit right now. 3-3 is over halfway done. We don't see the +3 melee yet here or Solar. We do have +3 carapace, which is also over halfway done. So when it comes to the carapace upgrade, Solar is looking fine. When it comes to those attack upgrades, perhaps just lacking a little, but maybe that's on purpose and wanted to get those range upgrades first. I think he has 1 range upgrade right now. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful stuff. 1 vehicle weapon as well. Now we have a Ghost Academy, and I think this is going to be the first time that I will see the Ghost in action with their snipes. And see how much potential they still have, how good they still are. I mean, previously in the previous patch, or I guess still the current patch, Ghosts were good, but maybe a little bit too good, you know. And nowadays it feels like they're probably still gonna be good, but they don't get an auto kill the moment an army moves in. You can actually move out of range. For the people that don't know, the Ghost changed in a very simple way actually. So the Ghost, it used to, whenever you hit a snipe, I believe the range of snipe hitting was practically infinite, and now there's a range of 14. So if a unit moves out of 14 range before the snipe finishes, then the snipe won't go off, it gets cancelled. The Ghost will get its energy back, so it's not like you lose that energy. That would be something. But yeah, it makes it a little bit easier for ZERG to disengage, especially with things like Hydra specifically. Also got a little bit of a speed buff, of course. So we'll have to wait and see how impactful that is going to be. We have a decent Ghost count out at 4 currently, 4 more on the way. That's going to bring the total up to 8. These changelings are just scouting for outside bases. They're seeing a 5th, they're seeing a 6th. Actually, they're seeing a 6th and a 7th right now. This is a 5th already. I didn't even realize it. This is an interesting base to take, by the way, for Terran. I really like the thought of that. And I wouldn't even have minded if this base would have gone over to the far bottom right now. That seems like a more natural expansion pattern, the way that this map is set up. If you think about how this map functions, I really prefer the bottom side over the top side here for time. This is so isolated. You can have a beautiful little wall here, and it's definitely gonna help. Here comes a Ling run by towards this tank and mine position. There's a couple more tanks in the back. Ghost coming in as well. This Ling run by looked like it had potential, but it absolutely did not. Here comes a very big attack in EMPs. Not quite connecting with anything. Ghost auto attacking right now. A couple of snipes. We'll just take out that Viper. Yeah, 14 range is huge. Absolutely huge. More range than a tank, of course. I really thought that Viper was going to fly out of range because it felt like it barely was in range. But this, okay, I thought honestly that this was a more significant nerf. I really did believe that. Well, I'll have to wait and see how it functions against lurkers and against Hydras. But so far, after seeing that interaction, this felt almost like a pre-patch interaction. Because nothing changed from how that fight would have gone pre-patch or post-patch. This is an interesting map, by the way. This is... It feels like this would be a good ZERG map, but how Time is setting up... Oh, sorry, how Oliveira is setting up over here. I'm a huge fan of that. You can see that he thought about it. The way that he wants to expand, the way that he wants to... Would love to see a planetary in this position, by the way. Would absolutely adore that. Said maybe he's going to build it here. I would adore that a little bit less. Ghosts are going to be taking out these links, as we see a Nidus go up in the main ball. We see a Nidus Worm attempt to go up in the main base. Not quite going to finish up. Tank gets taken out here as... yeah, I think a planetary here would not be a luxury. It's just a nice little crutch to have, of course. Oh, there come a couple of these snipes. Oh! Blinding Cloud, forcing these ghosts out of the Blinding Cloud. Of course, once you aim with ghosts and they're in a Blinding Cloud, they want to move out of it because they can't really shoot there. So what ends up happening is that they move forward a bit and almost ended up walking into those Banelings, which would have been highly unfortunate. Now, Solar, despite seemingly being pretty dead earlier in the game, has come back into it and is at the inferior work resources lost. Ooh, wait, is that a nuke? This guy looks like a ghost without their gun. They look really stupid. Batman. Actually, no, the Batman song. This guy also doesn't look like Batman. Ghosts actually look a little bit like the like Bane, I think. I think ghosts are bald. Or do they wear a helmet? It's hard to say. Can't really zoom in. I'm pretty sure they wear a helmet. Oh, Solar pulled away the drone. Spotted this immediately. Bunch of lurks here on the top side, taking out some crappers. I guess the ghosts are moving over into that position. Let's have a look how this trade is gonna go. Because that's actually kind of important, this type of trade. Show me what you got. This one lurker definitely is vulnerable to a snipe. The way that you want to do it as a Terran is you want to snipe them one by one. So you put like 7 snipes on one lurker and then only 3 or 2 will go through and you kill the lurkers. If you snipe too many at the same time, all of them will end up getting cancelled. Here comes a good flank. Potentially a good flank. Can't say that it's a good flank quite yet before it happens. Like saying it's going to be a good football match because there's 2 teams that you like. But that's usually not how it ends up going. Usually the football matches you're most excited for end up being complete garbage. And the other way around. What is this defensive Nidus over here? Like a rotationary Nidus. You know, you can kind of rotate from the bottom to the top and then back again. You have a very slow push forward here on this right side. Sensor tower being built a little bit further away than this sensor tower. Oh, here we go. Another big attack on the top side. Ghosts are in position. So are a lot of tanks. Ghosts not really running out of space of kiting yet. And I think was a pretty okay fight here for Oliveira. 26,000 resources lost against 36k. Now, I know some of you aren't great with math, but that means that so far in this game, Solar has been trading just a little bit worse than Oliveira. And that's most likely just going to continue the entire time, if I'm going to be honest. I can't imagine a world in which Solar all of a sudden starts trading way, way better. Nidus network. Excuse me? This is like if you have an ice cream truck and another guy with an ice cream truck starts parking right next to you and starts selling his ice cream at your spot. It's a little bit weird to do now. Well, you have 2 Niduses right next to each other. You could already get ice cream from this one. I guess these 3 lurkers, they've never been out of these Nidus networks as fast as this. But there's none on the bottom. No, there's one on the bottom. Never mind. I take that back. There's definitely one on the bottom. So it's definitely going to be good for these quick transitions, or quick rotations. But usually only with higher lurker counts do the Niduses really become super useful. Queen's now moving in position. That's actually was really cute. Picking up that Liberator and pissing off again, saying, alright, my job here is done. Now the lurker's coming back in. There's no ghost in position. There's a couple of tanks. Okay, sensor tower is going to be taken out. Solar pulls back and will heal up both of these lurkers at the same time going in. I wasn't ready for it. I don't think Oliveira was ready for it. CC in a little bit of trouble here. Is not going to get lifted. Is trying to get repaired but won't. Medevac's struggling here. 32k against 43k. These last few trades have been pretty okay for Solar. At the moment you're trading somewhat efficiently, it's usually fine. Let's not forget that so far both of these neutral bases are being mined by Solar actually. That is very, very interesting. I hadn't even quite realized that yet. But here the middle bases are difficult to attack into. And that's why this bottom base is so important for Oliveira. It's not necessarily to mine from here, but it serves as a launching point to kind of attack this bottom side base, which is very important. You need to try and get even mining in these bases. And if you do as a Terran player, you often end up winning. There's a Nidus network going down right now in a very offbeat location, kind of. Look at this. This is extremely rare. Well, Ghosts are going to be in position to deal with it. One of them is even cloaked. That's the loser of the bunch. It's like, alright boys, if we're dying, then I won't. It's going to be... I'll be reporting back home what happened here. The preemptive cloak. This CC is almost going to get taken out. We'll be forced to fly away for a little bit. Oliveira struggling to max out. Solar builds another Nidus. But none of this should really work. I mean, there's plenty of tanks nearby. There's planetaries literally everywhere. And there's just no units that you can really put in a Nidus. There's... Oh, actually, 6 lurkers. 6 lurkers is semi-significant. You can actually do that. Wonder if Solar is going to end up doing that. Does seem like Oliveira is not ready for this whatsoever. Ghosts are moving in position right now. As here comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lurkers moving in position. Here comes the planetary in a little bit of trouble. Snipes going down though. And all of these lurkers just get blasted. This might trigger a little bit of a response out of Solar, who's coming in with a flank. There's really no body to this army of our Terran player. He's going to lose all of his tanks. Forced once again to lift this away. 18 SCVs taken out. Bottom base here being harassed by this one lurker. And well, but it's these SCVs, they went over here. We're like, all right, it seems safe again. So still hearing the spikes next to you. The spikes coming out of the ground, and the boss sends you back into work. Also sends over some medevacs, so the boss ain't all bad, but still, that was a risky business there, as it's gonna get cleaned up. 55 worker supply against 80. That makes this army supply 97 against 114. Oliveira still struggling to max out here against this Ling Hydra Bane Viper composition, which it really is. I mean, lurkers haven't been used much in major fights. Lurkers have been used as a harassment tool, nothing more, nothing less. As was that a Hydra that just got shot in the air like that? Was that a massive Zergling? I think it was a Hydra. Lots of Banelings in the main base, not a huge fan. There's not that many targets for these Banes to actually hit. Like your odd Ling or your odd Marine or Marauder that you can maybe burst into, but that's about it. We now have a rotation towards the bottom side. Solar is starting to run out of money a little bit here. Look at that. 2500 mineral income is only at 170 supply right now. Ghost still in position. Can we get some snipe? Can we get some snipes? No, we can't. The auto attack is going to do the job here. Solar down 16,000 resources in the resource loss tab and struggling to mine at all of his bases, but actually has mined out this bottom base right now. That is interesting. What does time still have patch-wise? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's about what, 2.5k? Add another 1,000 to that maybe? Say 3.3. Okay, this base has significant minerals. This base also. So there's still 2 entire bases for Oliveira to mine. There's a lot of mining going on for Solar though. There's a lot of mining going on for Solar right now. Seems like he managed to saturate a lot of crap again. He's mining 3,300 minerals a minute against a mere 1,500 of his opponent. We have infestors coming in. Do we have Burrow yet? We have Burrow. And that often allows the Zerg to get a fight that otherwise they couldn't really. Here comes Solar once more. Lings, Hydras, Banelings. Gonna be running away. Not a single snipe was attempted here. Honestly, I haven't seen a single situation in which the snipe pre-patch would have hit, but now didn't. Because majority of the time when the Zerg commits, you're really just using your auto attack, and only when they retreat do you actually use your snipe. And every single time snipe was used in the retreat, it actually managed to hit, so it doesn't seem all that bad, honestly. Albert is going to stand here, stand and deliver. Marauder Marine moving forward as well. This high ground is massive, by the way. Almost feel like Solar should give up this topside base. Of course, he doesn't want to. and just try and deny this bottom side. I'm almost considering that a better plan right now. Oh, there goes your hatchery, my friend. Are we setting up another flank here towards the bottom side? I don't think we are. Ghost actually rotating bottom. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at this infestor. Behind enemy lines. Actually somewhat intense. There's no way, right? If this guy gets the fungal of a lifetime, and that's what Solar needs to win this game. Oh, turret didn't get built. Right on top. Oh my god, the splash damage. Man, this infestor had a couple of interesting seconds. First of all, someone made a blueprint to build a turret on top of his head. And then he almost got killed by splash because his trader Zerglings ran on top of him. That would be the most unfortunate way to die. That would have been so sick though. I would have loved to see the surprise on Oliveira's face in that case. Vehicle plating level 3 on the way. Did not stop upgrading at all here. That is pretty crazy. We only have +2 range, so not the same thing can be said. Same thing can be said here for Solar. Ooh, cheeky micro coming out of our Terran player. Look at that. Very careful with every single unit, saying, hey, I'm not gonna let you kill my 2 halberds for free. No, I need them. Terran actually getting closer and closer to maxing out as well. Neural Parasite on the way to... I mean, the moment Terran maxes out, there's going to be a small supply lead when it comes to the army. There's a bunch of Vikings. When I say a bunch, I mean one. There's one Viking out, which will help against a Viper. It's kind of pushing it away, putting a timer on its head. I love having like 2-3 Vikings. I think it's a good call. Look at these SCVs. They're actually being sacrificed right now. Like, hey, I want a bigger army. You kill my SCVs for me, and I'm gonna get a bigger army. You do my bidding, you little prick. Solar did all the bidding. It feels like we're setting up for a huge engagement soon. The question is how impactful can this be? Neural Parasite is still 25 seconds away. And this is coming in right now. This is moving forward. We have 14 ghosts. I mean, it's all you need is one fungal. The problem is I don't think you can actually unburrow right now. So we have to wait for that Neural Parasite. Okay, here we go, here we go. Solar does not want to commit into this position. Has 42 more links on the way. This base is most likely just going to fall in the next few seconds. No, Hellbats get blasted. Okay, here's the Neural Parasite. Let's take a look at this infestor. This infestor could be the game changer that we need. There we go. EMPs misses. Next EMP doesn't go off. Pretty much a misplay here out of Solar. Tries to go in with these banelings. This was an interesting attack with all of these ghosts still alive. Snipes going down. Viper gets stuck. Or, well, stuck. Gets shot down. And stuck in the ground maybe. Buried 6 feet deep. This was a really nice fight for Oliveira. I do believe so. Solar running out of bank as well. Running out of places to mine from. Resources lost significantly in favor of the Terran player by about 26,000 or so. 25,000. This just doesn't look so good here for Solar anymore. Hasn't really won a fight since the ghost count has gotten this high. Since our Terran player has been maxed out. Almost got it with that cheeky EMP with the Infestor Neural, but wasn't quite good enough. Second EMP never went off. These banelings are not connecting. And yeah, I think this is actually just going to be it. Hydras get sniped. And it's Oliveira still with a massive bank. Solar completely broke right now. And yeah, wow. Interesting way that this map plays out. Initially, when you look at this map, you're thinking almost as this base as your 5th as a Terran. But it has these ramps, which make it difficult to defend. You know, it gives a bit of an advantage for the attacker. So instead, moving towards the bottom side and then kind of using those ramps aggressively initially. I wouldn't mind that, honestly. I think the way that Oliveira decided to play this map was very correct. I'm surprised by the strength of the Ghost still. It really did not feel all that much worse, if I'm honest. It felt like that whenever Solar truly engaged into his opponent's army, that it was completely fine. And then even in the retreat, these Hydras would still die. Vipers went down a lot. Overseers got taken out. And these are some of the faster units. So yeah, interesting to note. Curious how that is going to develop in the next few weeks to see if ZERGs get better at retreating against these ghost snipes or if perhaps it isn't as impactful as I initially thought. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this game. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you, hopefully, for next time. Bye-bye.